Hello everyone, I am Steve and welcome to yet another Mac84 live stream. Today we're going to be looking at a few different computers that hopefully we'll be able to fix up. So let me know if the video and the audio look good and sound good. I just noticed since upgrading the version of OBS that I had previously, it reverted back to a 720p presentation. So I switched that back to 1080p. Hopefully that looks a little bit better, so hopefully that works out. Got 13 of you guys watching. We were just doing the Mac Yak podcast and I couldn't shut up, so I decided let's fix some stuff as well. So got quite a few people in the chat here. We have Jocelyn, we have David, we have Retrotechy, we have Leo, we have Splat2 Glitcher, Mickey, and who else? Sodium, Mitchell, Joe, CS Waffle, and a few others. They'll come on in. Sad Mac is here. Of course, Claire is here. So, that goes with the screwdriver. That is over there. Put that back before I lose it. So, a few updates of... no worries, Anonymous Freak. I have not forgotten, but I didn't want to pressure you. Take your time, man. There's no rush, seriously. YouTube is not having fun today, huh? I was having trouble with some Google sites, so who knows. But, hey, Trina, welcome to the chat. So, no worries. Well, everyone's welcome here. Everybody. So, I am covered in bunny fur because one of our bunnies needs medicine, so I just gave her the medicine before coming over here. So I have white fur all over me. I'd pick her up and bring her over, but she's not in a happy mood right now. No worries, Anonymous. I'm terrible with people's names. I know the. It'll come to me at like 3 a.m. But you know who you are. So a few updates on some machines that you may have not heard the outcome of. So I fixed a Macintosh Classic today that was having an issue where only half of the built-in memory was being recognized. So a client sent me a Macintosh Classic. I recapped it. Everything looked fine. It booted up. Hey, Classic Mac. And it worked great, except it was only seeing 512 kilobytes of the 1 megabyte of memory that's built into the board. Same thing would happen if I tried to put additional memory in. It was not seeing all the memory. So it turns out, I did Google the problem. Quite a few people were having it. It turns out the chip that is... Let me check my repair notes here. I'll forget exactly what chip it was. There's a chip near capacitor C9 that handles a lot of, I guess, the memory addressing and all that fun stuff. And so what had happened was the trace looked okay, but it actually was not making a connection. So when I probed it with the multimeter, it wasn't doing that. So I fixed a few traces in that area, and boom, that solved the problem. So just goes to show you, no matter if something looks okay, if you test it with the multimeter, that's really going to tell you if it is connected or not. So a simple thing to keep in mind, but just something that I thought I would share, especially because it was very odd behavior. I had not experienced that before, but apparently it's common enough where if you Google it, people have had that problem before. Hey, Justin, thanks for joining. Let's see, Williams, thank you for joining. And yeah, so that was a fun little machine to fix up. I've had it since, it was November or so. Because right before I got the G3 all-in-one, that's when I got that and I started working on it. I fixed it and I recapped and I'm like, oh, great, it works. I can send this back, and then memory issue. So yeah, so that's all fixed. Then there's a Trina has a ridiculously long name. I'm sorry, I don't. It's like exceedingly overpriced electronics or something like that. It's in all caps. You'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. I don't have anything PowerPC to repair. Nobody sent me anything PowerPC. So, sorry. If somebody sends me something PowerPC to repair, I'd be happy to take a look at it. But all I get is usually 68K stuff. I think that is the vintage of stuff that is really having problems. I mean, you will get some PowerPC Macs that are having issues with capacitors and such, But usually it's the 68K stuff that at least that I get. So, okay. So then the other machine I just want to follow up on, Mike's PowerBook 160. So I recapped the display. It looks beautiful. I have not put it back together. It's sitting on the shelf over there. So that's something that I will be looking at again. And today we have, at least for first off here, we have that logic board with the glue all over it. So this is a Macintosh Classic II Revision A logic board. And this was the one that had plenty of lovely glue all over the darn thing. So what we're going to be doing is taking a look at where all the glue was. And we're going to remove what we didn't remove before. And then we're going to see if we could figure out what the issue was. So the individual told me that they sent it out to be repaired and they had to send it back again because there were problems and this and that. And so it's not the guy who sent it to me. He didn't do the repairs. So not our buddy's fault there. But yeah, there's definitely some suspect things on this logic board. And we're going to be looking at it together because yeah, this one's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. So I'm going to move around some things on my desk here so I can actually get to the microscope, because I shoved it into the corner there because I was using the desk for other things. I always find old caps on my desk. Like, I swear these are the ones that have flown around and have went poof, and they end up somewhere. Here's a 4716 that's just hanging around. In the trash it goes. So. Oh, nice. That is really cool. Yeah, I have a 128K Mac. It's been upgraded to a Plus with an accelerator board, but if I take that off, it's still the original board, which is cool. So, all right, let's drag the microscope a little bit closer. I really have to figure out how I want my desk situated when I get everything set up with the new studio/lab or whatever you want to call it area. But for now, it's going to be a little bit weird. But, okay. Alright, so we're going to turn on the microscope here, and we're going to go to the microscope camera so you guys can see what the heck we're going to be looking at. And for those of you who missed it last time, I'm going to talk a little bit about this board and what was going on. And so let's transition there. Okay. And so this logic board is a Macintosh Classic II Revision A, and I'm going to type that on the screen here because if I don't, I will be asked. So let's make sure we could actually put that up here. Where's my text? There it is. And we'll put that over here. And let's change what that says. I'm very slow, so just give me a second here. This is a Classic 2. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, this is a Macintosh Classic 2 board, and 46s. I'm confused already. So on this board, you could see that there definitely used to be some capacitors in some places, and yeah, things did not exactly go as planned when whoever was recapping this thing started to do their work on it. And there was a lot of glue in place to try and keep capacitors together. And the reason I believe they used glue was because they did not clean the pads where those capacitors were supposed to go. So instead of the solder adhering to those pads, it wasn't. So they said, I'll just glue it. Which, yeah, not exactly the best solution there. So we're going to try and resolve this and fix this up here. I'm going to have to remove the capacitors here because I do not know what is lurking underneath. And it's sort of a shame because these capacitors could probably work out fine, but I don't know if maybe I'll put them back on. I mean, the caps themselves look okay. It's what's underneath. It's probably not worth it to try and clean it up. But get our tools here. I want to just start. I'm just looking, here's where I see things that concern me. And this could just be burned. You know, it could just be scorched a little bit. Yeah, we have a connection there, so that's good. But that was a little concerning. I game on a Sega Genesis. How about that? Got blast processing. Y'all can't touch me. Yeah, it's scorched probably because someone was using a hot air gun or a station or whatever to put some of these caps on. I mean, look, I scorch capacitors sometimes too. It's, you know, you got heat blowing all over the place. Sometimes it's going to happen. But, yeah. Yeah, just a wee bit concerning all around. So, what I'm going to do to start this is I'm going to look at the nastiest area first. I'm always of the mind of let me do the hardest work first, and the rest of it won't be as difficult. All right, so let me bring this a little bit closer so I'm not destroying my back. So this is where we get a lot of problems. So let me look up the recapping guide that my good friend Bruce from Recap a Mac has created. I believe I have a revision A here. Yes, I do. Here it is. We'll take that out of the binder, as all the other pages want to try and escape. No, you go back in there. And so I highly suggest you go to recapamac.com, and we're gonna put up Bruce's banner here because he is ever so kind with his website. Go to recapamac.com, subscribe to Bruce's channel. He has over 10,000 subscribers, but what's a few more? I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers, but you don't hear me whinging about it. But no, seriously, check out his website. Excellent resource, excellent guides, just like this one that you can print out. And so this is what I'm going to be using today to ensure that I put the right capacitors at the right spots. So let's go back to our little microscope here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at this area here. All right, so it looks like we have capacitor 9, and yeah, that's the issue there. Capacitor 9 is not exactly as nice as it should have been. And then capacitor C15, we have the same issue here. So, yeah. So what I'm going to be doing here is just continuing to clean this up. The reason I paused a little bit while last stream was I wanted to contact the individual and say, look, I originally quoted you for recapping. This is a bit of a different scenario. Let's see. Yeah, there's some glue and residue here. I mean, it's not like it's going to hurt anything, but I'd like to get most of that off the board. Oh, well, thank you very much, Trina. I do appreciate it. I do have some of those guides that I create, not necessarily for more common boards, but for more oddball things. That is on my own website. We're going to look at the serial number here just because if I ever forget what the number is on this board, now it's recorded. All right, so just having a look around the traces of these capacitors here, because what you will often find is that around the capacitor, especially if the capacitor has had an issue or has leaked, you will often find areas around that capacitor have damaged traces, so like around here, etc. At first glance, I'm not really seeing anything. I'm going to take this memory off. And I'm going to put that in a little bag. Actually, I'm going to use one of these here. Put that over there so we do not lose track of that. And in case we mix those up, those are Oki and Toshiba memory modules, M51174070J. There we go. You guys are talking about all fancy new things. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so, yeah. So just looking around these areas to see if there's anything else that pops out as ugly looking. I know there was a trace. Oh, where was it? We were on the stream the other day, and Bruce caught it, and then I said, "Oh, is it this one?" And that was exactly the right one, but I I don't recall where that was. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So it was right here, right above this capacitor here. There's a break. So I'm going to get out the multimeter here. We're going to just start poking around. I would avoid the 4400. The 4400 is an interesting machine. It is interesting. It is a cheapo machine. It only has 2 PCI card slots. I would get a 7500 or a 7600 or something like that. I would avoid the 4400. It's an interesting footnote in Apple history, but there are much better Power Macs. Get a 7600 series or a 8600 or 9600. Especially if you want that expandability, you're going to want a later machine like that. Where's this going? This goes up here and somewhere. I love when the trace just goes under a chip and it just disappears, because it could be anywhere. That's when I start usually dragging the multimeter around where the processor is. Is this somewhere over here? Where does it go? It's gotta go somewhere. Well, that's not happy. Yeah, that's what I assumed, but I didn't see. If I follow this and it goes la 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 la, it might go there. Yeah, there it goes. So that's the trace for that one. Now this one here, it goes through this line here, and then it maybe over here. That's where it should go, but obviously it's not going to because it has been eaten away. So what I will be doing is doing a little trace repair here. The first of many. I'm going to take my watch off because I'm going to be uncomfortable, I think, if I do that. So this is gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be fun. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everybody tuned in for Mac Yak, the video podcast I was just on moments ago. And the edge of this scalpel, the very edge where the point is, has snapped off already, it seems. I've only been using this scalpel for a few days, but some wear faster than others. So there's a bit of junk in that area, so let me try and clean all those little metal shavings and bits off first. You could clearly see now where that break is. Now, the other one is okay. The other trace there seems to be okay. I might have to touch that up, but seemingly it is okay. Advantage, adventure, 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 adventure. Somebody got paid big bucks to think of that marketing term for that computer. All right, so let's see if this little wire here is too thick or thin for what we need to use it for. That should be all right. Okay, so let's. It would help if we turned our soldering iron on. Otherwise, So let's cut off a little piece of this wire here. Yeah, we really don't need much of this at all. That might be too small. Nah, that's plenty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is place that on my desk and try not to lose it in the time that I'm waiting to have the soldering iron heat up. That does happen, believe it or not. Like, oh, where'd that little wire go? I should come up with the system for putting these somewhere so I can read it. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. I found this PowerBook 180 saying, of course, it fried, won't even turn on. Well, I could look at that for you, Nick. I mean, I do have a PowerBook power adapter. Some of those, the internals go bad. Or sometimes it's just a power adapter. Does the power adapter work on another similar PowerBook model? Because that'll tell you. All right, so I'm gonna just burn the coating off of this little insulated wire here. Okay. I'm gonna put our friend Flux around here. Go Flux. Blit. And we are going to try and put this little wire in a spot there. Now, I'm just using this little bit of wire, so it might actually be smarter for me to have had a longer spool. And just like that, I dropped the wire. I dropped it on the board too. So where did it go? Oopsie. Well, that's going to be a fun thing to look for. I mean, it didn't... It's probably now on my workbench here. I just can't see the darn thing. But, well, that's the thing. So, we'll just get a new piece of wire. Wrong voltage and then fried it. Ooh. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, it's a good parts machine, I guess. If you do not want it, Nick, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it if you want to trade something for it or whatever. I do have a 180 that is not in the best working condition, so just one of those machines that I would not mind to have a second of because I only have one. So we're going to try this a little bit differently. Probably what I should have done in the first place. I'm going to leave the wire on the spool here, and we're going to obviously get back in the area of focus that we were trying to get in the first place. And we're going to hold this wire here, and then I'm going to get the soldering iron and get that, make sure that's in the same spot, the right spot rather. Okay, so let's try this out with my left hand, of course, because yay. And of course, a sane person would remove the capacitor before he does this, but I am... I'll save my comments for afterwards, but... Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I can tell. I can already tell. Yeah. Has a mind of its own. So even if I could just get it partially there. Well, let me turn this board because it's not helping me that this is at a weird angle and I'm coming at it from a weird angle. So. Okay, so I'm going to now cut the extra long cable so we just don't have so much hanging around here. Okay. No worries, Mickey. As always, as I say, if you guys can't stick around for the entire time, do not worry about it. My streams go long, people have to go to bed, go to work, etc. No worries. But thank you very much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I knew that was going to happen. you can only laugh in this situation because this is a PG-13 channel. I should really just take the cap off. So that's the game at home we're going to play. How many times is he going to say that before he actually does it? He's a stubborn one. I say at least 15 times. Yeah, we're getting that stupid cap off because... Oh, that's right. I am out of my solder wick. Oh, that's going to be fun. It's going to sort of limit us of what we could do today because... Oh, no, I found the other one, but it's not as good. So, yeah, I forgot what happened on the stream already. Alright, so that is making a connection at least. Now, what I'm attempting to do here, I just want to make some quick and dirty repairs just to see if I can get to a state where we can expect some things to work. Why did it stop? Okay, so that is making a connection now. An on-screen counter. How fancy do you think I am? I could bridge it, but it's going to be more permanent, so... Sure, Nick. Why don't you send me an email? Mac84TV@gmail.com. Why don't you send me the information, Nick, and we could chat. I think I already have your email address, but... Okay, so that is definitely making a connection now. It's not the prettiest, I understand, but we have two caps that look horrible, so they're not existent. So let's turn to those first. So those are both 1 microfarad 50 volt capacitors, and I left my capacitor thingy over there. So let me go grab that. Oh yeah, I will be whipping off the caps, Bruce. I am just insanely curious right now if it's as simple as those two little things causing the problem. These caps are not staying on there. The guy paid me to do a recapping, and that's exactly what I will be doing. But I'm just very, very curious. And of course, I bundled up all of my little capacitors into little bags, and I have to unwrap all of them. Yes, Bruce, it's called the laziness tactic. Bruce knows exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so I have two capacitors here. One has already been used, so it's a bit yucky looking, but that's fine. We're just testing things out, so. Okay, so this is, these are two 50 microfarad, 1 microfarad 50 volt capacitors. And so, this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah, like YouTube tells me I have 20 likes right now. So I don't know exactly what numbers to believe, and YouTube has been a bit silly with things, as we know, so who knows if that's an accurate representation. But if you do like the video, you like this content, please make sure you subscribe. I'm a handful of subscribers away, like 5 or 7 or something away from reaching 5,000 subscribers. I mean, holy crap. That is really cool. So, big thank you to everybody who's subscribing already. But if you're new here, if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's just a numbers thing, but it makes me feel good. So, alright, so what I want to do is remove this. We do not need this. Thank you. So these are little wires that the previous person put on here. I think there's still some glue there. Yep, and there's some solder there. We do not need your services anymore. Thank you for playing. Have a good day, sir. Oh, and that looks delicious under there. So, yeah, this is... Yeah, oof, look at all that. Oof. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more damage in that area. Because look how burned it is. That was not from me. So, a lot of people will try to apply more heat when things are not sticking with the solder, and that usually ends up causing more problems because you're just going to burn the PCB there. You're just going to scorch it, which is what I think happened in this area. Because, my goodness. More hot glue. Ain't a party like a hot glue party. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, we have... Let's zoom into this. I know my my microscope is sort of tilted. I have to straighten everything out, so I apologize if some things are narrowly out of focus or not. But yeah, look at that. That is definitely an example of somebody just burning away at this area. Oh, anonymous freak, I like the way you think. Let's go to the subscriber thing. How do I do this? I go to the YouTubes, and I go to... it still says 4993 to me, but YouTube is always a bit delayed. So maybe we are at that magic number. We just won't find out yet. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. Oh, yeah, I'm just getting the bits and pieces that are loose here. And there's a lot of them. Yeah, look at this. Look, so this trace has some problem spots here. Those little black dots, you want to get rid of those. Cause more problems down the road. Got some more over here. Little bits of corrosion and fun stuff. You're still one short. Yeah, probably. I mean, so things like Social Blade and things like that sometimes have a better live subscriber count. I always take the subscribers with a grain of salt. I was almost at 5,000, then I went down. I don't know what the heck happens with that stuff, but whatever happened happened. So we'll just keep on moving forward. That's all you can do, huh? That's all you can do. Hey, I started this channel almost 4 years ago, so it didn't happen overnight. So, you know, this stuff takes time. It really does. Oh, that looks like a lovely... Oh, gosh. The more I look at this board, the sadder I get inside. Okay, so just looking around here. I'm going to look at the other capacitor here that was glued. that looks like a bad spot, but I think that's just some hair or junk. Yeah, okay, that's okay. No, thank you, Trina. Everyone's just finding their like accounts they haven't used in forever. Like the one spam email account that just happens to have a YouTube login because it's a Google thing. So, thank you, everybody. It's very kind of you all. That's hilarious. Oh boy! All right, here's the missing capacitor here. So here's where there's still a pad attached, believe it or not. And look at that. That's twisted around. Look, you can see the metal twist here. If I untwist this, I bet it's gonna break. But yeah, I don't know if I want to twist that around, but we don't have to. We're just gonna let it sit, and we'll put a wire to reinforce it. There's no sense in. Ugh, never mind. No, there's all this goo under here. Yeah, we have to. Sorry. Yeah, we have to get all this out. It's all right. We could put something there. That pad has enjoyed a long life, and it is now ready to be retired forever. Thank you very much. That pad is like, help me, help me. Yeah, because if this one, when this goes through the ultrasonic cleaner, that pad would have fallen right off, I'm sure. So, you know, it's nothing we can't run a new wire to. So, as we'll have to anyway. So it wasn't like that was going to solve a problem. You're seeing 5K. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do I have a button I push here that like balloons come down from the ceiling? That would have been a fun trick, huh? Let's see if I go to this studio here. Oh, I'm at 5,004. Woo! Thank you everybody for spamming your alternate accounts there. You did it. You got me over the edge there. I do have a banner. Hold on. I do have a banner I printed out. Here's a 5,000 subscriber banner. Look at this beauty. Look at that. So we're going to be coloring this. Maybe I'll do like a Q&A stream and we'll color this or something. Thank you, everybody. This is that's quite funny. Oh boy. Yeah. So if I had where's the tape here? Do I have some tape? You hang up the banner, but I want to color it though. Where's the tape I had here? I was packaging stuff up today, but let's temporarily hang it up. This is a cement wall, so it is very difficult to actually get things to hang up on there easily. Yes, this is printed in triplicate because why the heck not? $5 to sign my name on it. Come on by, Jay. We'll work something out. I had some packaging tape here. I don't think that's going to do it. I actually used electrical tape last time. You can't see that. I actually used electrical tape last time to hang that up. Let me get a scissor here. We're taking a little bit of a detour. We're gonna cut it here so we have some space. And thank you to everyone who's liked the video, who's shared a video, who's subscribed to the channel, who has supported me on Patreon, who's followed me on Twitter or Instagram. Or thank you, everybody. That's quite a bit of a milestone. If you told me a few years ago I'd be in the spot I am, I'd be like, what? You're crazy. All right, so we have our banner. Here's the tape. I don't know if this is going to do it. We'll see. Oh, thank you, Justin. That's very, very kind of you for the super chat. Eep! Thank you very, very much. We're just going to move that over. Sorry for the squeaks. Very impromptu moving things around here. Now, the desk will be moving. This desk is moving over there, so this banner we're going to have to move too. And I have to color in the banner. It's intentionally not colored in. Installing Windows on an old Mac. Ugh. I mean, eventually I'm going to mess around with soft Windows and stuff like that, but not anytime soon. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to really stay, but we'll give it the old try here. I could always print another one if I had to, but this was the one I printed live. When we did the giveaway for the when I did the giveaway for the AlphaSmart 2000 word processor, I printed this banner out. So let's see if that's going to stick here. Hey, Adam, just in time. We're going to hang up this banner. Let's see. See, white doesn't really show. Do you want the pink or the yellow? Let's go with the yellow. That way we could color this one, because it is in triplicate. So we do have this one here. Let's put this here. Hopefully my butt is not in anyone's face. My apologies if it is. Alright, that might hold there for a good day or so. Or a few years, who knows? Fantastic. Let me get the camera off the tripod here, because the lighting is atrocious here. And let's get a closer look at that. And oh, the USB cable is caught on something. Hold on. Wiggle it free. Come on. Come on. Here we go. There we go. That's the fruit of our labor here.
5,000. Smash that subscribe button.
Very, very cool. So we do have to color this in because this is just line art. I did that so it would print better. But I know, Mike. I did. Sporks for everyone. There we go. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Let me read the chat because I was standing up and was not able to. So let's catch up on some things, shall we? My goodness, that was exciting. Was not expecting that. All right, let's see what's going on here. Yes, thank you to everyone who did that, who helped or who subscribed. Everybody. Thank you. All right, so, and Justin, thank you again for the super chat. Eep! If you can't super chat, don't worry about it. You have to be of a certain age, etc., etc., etc. Yes, yellow, I think, works out well. Yeah, that's weird. I have an old account, too, and it has, like, you know, a few hundred subscribers. And I'm like, I never update this thing. Why? So, all the best parts are made in Japan, Doc. Yeah, so quite a bit of a milestone. So I'm very pleased. Very pleased. I mean, this is just something I've been messing around with this channel, and I've had a lot of fun. So I appreciate everyone coming along with me for this ride. So let's get right back to trying to fix this crazy old thing here. So we're going to go right back to that capacitor that once was.
The capacitor that was no more.
Exactly. It is a little scary to think that 5,000 people are enjoying my antics. So either I'm doing something right or wrong. I don't know yet. I would guess right. I mean, it's 5,000 people can't be wrong. That's a good ring to it. Of course, Bruce says 10,000 people can't be wrong. That has some weight to it. Bruce and I have a very friendly rivalry. And by rivalry, I mean I'm very jealous. Alright, so let's try and get some wires on these traces here. And the reason things are sort of out of focus is this board is half off of this platform here. And so the board gets a little wobbly. So, see if I can fix that. Can I shift everything over a little bit without having my phone and stuff fall off the desk? Maybe? Maybe. Yeah. Alright, that's a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay. 3 of those are me. Hey, you know, extra subscriptions equals extra... I don't know. Alright, so let's get some wire on here. 12 for me. Oh my goodness. Got some dedicated fans, I will say that. And I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so this, ooh, we got some fun stuff here. What I actually want to do is I don't know if this makes any sense or not, but I'm going to do it anyway, and then people can yell at me if I'm doing it wrong or if it's a stupid idea. But a thought just occurred. A thought occurs, Kif. There aren't that many humans on Earth. That I want to put some of this solder mask and just have it cure, just to hold down those little traces, just a wee bit. Make sure that stuff isn't going anywhere, because it's already damaged. So I don't know what transferring ownership of a Discord server to me would do, because I'm believe it or not, this may come as a shock to people. Hold on to your hats, folks. I am not the most active on social media, including Discord. I get messages all the time from people. Oh, can you join this? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, what are you even referring to? What's this app or this platform? What are you crazy kids talking about? So I am lowering the light here, so it's a little easier for me to see what I am zapping. So there we go. And Dana does stuff. He's going to be doing more stuff, hopefully. He has an excellent setup. He's been slowly setting up his office with his Macs and everything. So subscribe to Dana from Dana Does Stuff. Subscribe to Mike from Mike's Mac Shack. Subscribe to Jay from the House of Moth. And subscribe to Bruce from Brightest Creations. Thank you very much, Bruce. No worries. Yes, I'll stay up for you. Don't worry. I think we should just get a wireless camera on Dana and we'll just watch him 24/7, just see what he does. Because he's got to do something. And then we'll all be able to see it. Be like, oh, look, he's doing stuff. There he is. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the obvious. Of course, if you have not subscribed to me, well, see, now all of you who are already subscribed to be like, well, I was subscribed to him before he hit 5,000 and got too big for things. Cannot tell if cured or if not cured. That's a meme, right? It could use a little... Oop. Drop the pointy scalpel. Thankfully, it did not land on my feet. That would have been bad. Let that just sit there for a little bit.
Always watching.
Everybody in the chat is super cool. That's what I will say. Let's just hit this from a slightly different angle just to make sure all of that light is hitting where it has to. And this is just to sort of anchor those traces, because this was put through some abuse before. I just want to minimize the amount of yanking that's going to be going on here. And in fact, I should put a little... I should put some over there as well. Just a little bit. That's too much. But I don't want that little via to pop off either, because that's what we're anchoring something to. So yeah, that video that Dana posted of that big burn, that's some ASMR material if I ever saw some there. All the crackling and the I mean, you could basically smell the video. This is a... I don't know what board this is. If you look in the lower left-hand corner, there may be a hint. This is a Macintosh Classic II logic board. And this one had glue all over it. Where some of these capacitors were missing, there was glue in an attempt to repair that. And the individual said the machine worked, but there was no sound or limited sound. No worries. Thank you for stopping by. Kick the modem once for me. Okay, so that hopefully did the trick. We're a bit overkill. We could always peel this off if we have to, but yeah, that's okay. That's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So you have that little blob there just to protect what we're about to do. We're about to put some wires down here and want to make sure that all of that stuff stays. We don't want to have to do this again. So let's see. Is this wire too big? No. The wire is a little thicker than what I would normally use, but since it's there to support a capacitor, I do want it to be a bit larger. So what I'm going to do is just use my soldering iron. Since this does have a coating around it, just burn the coating off. Nick, you get some interesting files, I say. Alright, so let's try it again. So what I'm trying to do is make new spots for this capacitor to live. So oh, I knew that was a possibility here. We can always redo that, so it's okay. Ah! This wire here was just like spring-loaded and went pa-choo! Oh, come on, where'd it go? I'm gonna find that like in a week. Time to ready up another one. This is Recapping Misadventures with Steve from Mac84. Take two. Let's try that again. It's a much smaller wire this time. Okay, that is not going anywhere. Yeah, that solder mask is going to have to go. We'll put you back later. Sorry about that. Yeah, the solder mask usually doesn't like heat directly applied on it shortly after being put on the board. My mistake. Cleaning your office. Yeah, and I'm doing my taxes. Ah! Ooh! Solder just slammed up and hit me in the nostril. That's an instant replay for you to capture, Jay. Let's see that again on the Jumbotron. Oh my gosh, it just smacks him in the face there. That's going to hurt him for a while. Ooh! You reminded me, Adam. I bid on something last night that ended while I was asleep. I don't know if I won it or not. Let's see. Let's see. And my eBay app is frozen, so the suspense is killing me. Oh, come on. Relaunch the app. Hey, I won it. How much did I pay for it? Awesome. I won it at the starting bid. Here, I'll give you guys a peek of what I ordered. This was a manual for the UMAX Apus 2000 C500 Macintosh clone. Let me swap the screen real quick. It's not going to focus there, but it's a paper manual. The opening bid was $4.99 GBP, so I think it's around $10 US or something like that. But yeah, it was originally posted at like 4 times the price, but nobody bid on it. And so when it was relisted, I'm like, you know what? Let me just buy it, and I did. So let me pay for it now before I forget. How much is this in US? Ugh. It's like $4.99 GBP and then $4.13 shipping. It's going to come here in March, it looks like. Let's see, how much is this going to cost? Set me back. I have to do a calculation here. It's about $20. All right, that's not too bad. I wouldn't pay much more than that for a paper manual. We got 2GS last night for $80. That's not bad. It's not plastic. The packing instructions for the booklet. If it's just a booklet and it arrives in horrible shape, then wow, they deserve a medal for being such a dork that they can't. Did I freaking lose that again? I have to stop doing that. I'm getting the solder mask all over me. It's gonna make for an interesting conversation. See, I keep getting the wire already, and then it's very small, so it acts like a spring, and I cut it, and it goes whee. There it is. There it is. There it is. Both of them ended up in the same spot, so now I have 2. Okay, cool. All right, back to this. Let's go back. We're getting off track here. Come on, this is Mac84 stream. We gotta stay on topic. Gotta stay focused. With the shipping, Dana, because the shipping was like 9. So it was 5 plus 9. I knew the shipping was going to be more than the item, which is why I didn't want to originally bid on it when it was like 20. Because I'm like, screw that. I'm not paying like $40 for paper manual. Stay on target. Stay on target. Loosen up. Alright, so let's add some more flux here, because flux is your friend. And this is going to look horrible. This is temporary. I'm just very curious what type of life we get out of this machine. Well, it would help if the wire was straight. That little edge on it is. Oh, where's my other thing? Let me just flatten it. Maybe I can just do that. Doesn't help all the grime and junk that's around here. Okay. Right, so that's attached. It's not pretty, but we're gonna fix this up. I don't know, Adam. I think it would help your value if you just say, "Hey, it's been recapped." I don't think my name has too much clout to it. But what do I know? I just hit 5,000 subscribers. I think I'm allowed to be a little cocky. I knew that was going to happen. So why'd you do it if you knew it was going to happen? There's too much solder. There's too much heat. Oh no! Something tells... I can't even get my tweezers there because this stupid RAM chip is like sitting right above this. Oh, lordy. Tilt this board again. Try from another angle. It's just hard. There's so many little things here. See, I can't even put my tweezers flat. There's so many things in the way. Jeez. Try it from this angle. That's a huge solder tail, but we're just testing here, folks, so all will be cleaned up at a later time, I'm sure. That is just hanging on by a darn thread there. I see there are some excellent things in the chat. Let me just tackle this first, and I'll giggle with you as things fall off my desk. Alright, I think that's the best I'm going to get it for right now. Again, this is not permanent. This is just temporary. Around your safety goggles. Now that is fancy. Wow, that stinks, man. Ouch. If someone's pasting links, YouTube is taking out the link, so I have no idea what you're referring to. Sorry, that's just what YouTube does. I got no say in the matter. Alright, where's my other set of tweezers here? Because I gotta do some bending. Oh, where did they go? Did I put them over here? Eep. Where did they fall down while I was having a fit? No. I know it's so exciting to watch me look for things. There they are. He's taking the double tweezered approach. A hush goes over the crowd. So what I have to do is bend this. So this becomes a little solder pad. That's why the legs are so long here. Not my best work. I've done others that looked better, but the point of this is just to make contact to the capacitor. Okay. Operation. Is it water on the knee? Thanks, Classic Mac. See you later, man. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Yep, that was gonna rip off. I knew it. I knew it. Because that trace has just had it. Jeez. Well, we're going to have to attach it again, by golly. Yeah, you know what? It'd be so much easier if we just...
He's talking to himself again. He's talking to himself.
Oh, well, thank you. 12K is a very arbitrary number. I don't know how you landed on that, but thank you. Where'd the little thingy go? There it is. I've got a plan. Yikes. He almost burned himself by touching the thing. I don't want to use the hot air station here because this is these parts are very tiny, and I don't want to destroy the attempted work I just did. There we go. So we're just removing that cap off the board. We're going to put the same one back on there. But the reason I removed that is to give me a more space to work with here, and I could put a longer wire down there. So that'll be more secure. It's not going to just flake off, because I did have the anchor point there for the other trace there. So thank you very much, Adam, for the super sticker. Looks like a tasty sandwich there. Eep! Thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. That's very, very kind of you. So what I'm going to do is take more of this wire here. I'm going to take almost an inch here. And let's see, where else can I... Okay, I could do it up there a little bit. Okay, so that should help me out here. So the idea is to solder the cable here. So let me scrape away. All right. Where's our friend Mr. Flux? There it is.
That board's got more problems than a ham sandwich.
Whatever that means. Well, to all 39 of you guys watching right now, thank you very, very much. Very kind. It's always nice to have company while I go on these bizarre adventures here. I do want to apologize to anybody who's supporting me on Patreon right now. I have not posted a post yet because I did a Patreon video and then the footage got all screwed up, so it did not. It was just me talking to the camera, so I just really did not have anything to post recently. But I will do something soon, I assure you. I actually recorded something earlier that might be a good fit for that. So stay tuned as I fight with this darn wire to be exactly where I want it to go. Man. I could use another hand. Maybe we could find another hand. even just part of a hand. Just put it on a limb somewhere. Sometimes trace repair can be easy, and sometimes not. So that's the wisdom for Mac84's lesson for today. I just refer to myself in the third person.
Mac84 says, Mac84 will do this. Mac84.
Use more flux.
More flux.
Okay. Oof. Yeah, some of those machines, this plastic is just horrendous. Alright, good. We got a solid connection there. Alright, so what I need to do is just make sure over here is good too. I think that's the best we could do for right now. Alright, so this will need a lot of cleanup, etc. I know this looks nasty, but this whole area of this board is problematic. I would have liked to kept more of the insulation on the wire there so I didn't have to put any solder mask or anything, but hey, Hot Rod, thanks for joining. Alright, so we are building pads for a capacitor here. This is gonna look pretty nasty, but it's just, some of these things look worse than others. Did that cap seriously fall off my desk? That's the problem with having so many little tiny things on a desk. Things just slide off. So I had 3 capacitors on my desk. Now there were 2. Oh, and one's in my hand. Okay. Oh boy. The nature of tiny components, they just kind of wander off there. It's the Classic II that had all the glue on it. And yeah. Okay, so I misplaced that capacitor that I was going to put back on. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fall down here. I'm just having a quick look here. just in case it fell on the ground. I don't want to have to put it on and then take it off, and etc., but may have no choice if I can't find the darn thing. It was a little yellow guy. Not that describing it would help. Oh, gosh. Fun stream today. At least I'm having fun. Or I'm delusional. I don't know the difference here. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, your Classic II, thankfully, was fairly straightforward. This is a whole other ball game, but we're gonna do our best. That's all we could do. That's all I could do. Okay, so I'm gonna do some unorthodox things here. I'm gonna put a capacitor sort of on stilts, and that's because I don't want to put any solder mask on this area because this is not permanent. Well, actually, you know what? That's going to be permanent. That just changed my mind. Like, you know what? I don't want to have to redo that. And we're going to test it with our multimeter. Yeah, I would say that the Classic II is a Macintosh SE Junior. That is a fair description. Because it is almost up there. I mean, it can't take as much memory, etc., etc. But the specs on paper are quite similar. When I fixed up Mike's Macintosh Classic II for him, and he's been quite happy with it. I mean, it's like a poor man's SE30, which is nothing wrong with that. You just need a little dot of this stuff, and it really covers a lot. It really does. Okay, so that should help here. Yes, this is the hot glue board. I got the go-ahead from the client to attempt to make any repairs that would likely see this thing working again. So that is what I'm doing. I actually found a paintbrush while I was cleaning up. I have no idea where it is right now, so I wasn't going to go stop the stream just to look for it. But I do appreciate your concern. It is actually the leg of an old capacitor. That's what I was using.
Everything gets recycled in this house. Even old capacitors like this one here. I don't know why I'm talking like a 1950s advert, but that's what happens some days in the stream.
Yeah, a Q-tip, not a Q-tip, a toothpick or a paperclip. I've used those before. A paintbrush would be ideal. A lot of my paintbrushes have paint on it, so they don't really work as a brush anymore. I got to clean them, but. Mac84 remembers. Remember when a file was too big to fit on a floppy disk, so you had to compress it? Mac84 remembers. Remember when you went to go to a website but you didn't have the plugin, so the multimedia wouldn't play correctly? And the multimedia was sometimes Windows only, so no matter how many different browsers you tried on a Mac, it just wouldn't load? Mac84 remembers. If I was able to get out of my driveway with all this snow, I would go to the dollar store. Oh, that's very kind of you. I will go pick up some paintbrushes. I just have not had the chance to do so. Between all the plumbing problems and all this other fun stuff I've been dealing with. WebVR. I have a book on VHTML or VRHTML somewhere. I don't know why I still have it. Yeah, there's the time card at my old job only worked on Internet Explorer, and I had a Mac. So for the longest time, I couldn't fill out my time card, and my boss was pretty ticked off at me. I said, what do you want me to do? They're using an outdated thing. Not my fault. Hey, dysfunctional wombat. Long time no see. Oh yeah, Flip for Mac was one. I still have a bunch of real player files, but all the servers are gone, so those aren't going to do me any good. I actually have a set that I could probably use. I just don't know where it is right now. But it's one of those cheapo art sets. The stuff inside is really garbage. Waxy crayons. It's really... Ugh. I wouldn't really use it. So it's fine for projects like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong. The compact Macs with the 9-inch screen are fine. I love the Color Classic, obviously, but unless you're doing something that really needs color, I mean, yeah. The only thing I really didn't like about Real Media and Real Player, obviously, this was think of my mindset when I'm telling you this. We had dial-up. I did not get on the internet often, maybe once a week if I was lucky. So when I found a video, like a Star Wars clip or some other geeky stuff, and I couldn't save it, it wasn't a QuickTime that I could play back when I was offline, I was upset because I'm like, oh, that's dumb. You have to connect to the internet just to watch it? Since when are you going to be connected to the internet all the time? Oh, boy. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I have some real player files that will play on VLC because they are not server side. They are actual the full thing. Hopefully that's solid. Okay, so those will still work, but yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the capacitor that we have to put over here, there, and we're going to use this one. It's a little toasty, but it will work. It's not going to look the prettiest, but if it functions in our test, it'll be excellent. So, just very carefully, very slowly. And I would not be able to do this without something like a microscope. We'll see if I'm able to do it even with a microscope. We'll see. Oh, don't dangle like that. Come on. It is lopsided and it is hanging around, but you know what? It is connected. And again, we are just testing things out here. I know that looks ugly. It is not the type of thing I would say is permanent, but again, we are just doing some testing here. Do not want to spend the extra hours for this client that they didn't ask for to go ahead and do things permanently and then undo them, etc. So we're going to Try and be as economical as possible. And this cap. Oh, that may. That too. I can't see under it. I think it connected. Let's check. Hey, we got a connection. Yay! It looks ugly. It looks ugly. But it is making a connection. And that will hopefully be able to help us determine what the heck is going on here as we progress here. So, let's put this cap back on here. Adding some solder to this just because it will be elevated a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put this, let me try and clean this capacitor off. You're not going to be able to see this because I have to hold two things. I'm not going to go into the microscope for it, but get any old crusty solder off of this capacitor. Okay, and we want the positive like that. Again, things are going to look a little silly, but that is what we're dealing with here. This board has been through a lot. Okay, and that's a join there. Now we're just going to check with our multimeter. Oh, good night, Trina. No worries. Oh, that sounds exciting. Keep us posted. So make sure nothing is touching where it shouldn't. Excellent. Okay, so everything seems to be okay. No, the tantalum caps can be pretty beat up and they'll be okay. I mean, obviously, you want to take care with them. You don't want to go too crazy, but you won't hurt them by getting a bit of solder on them. Or burning them up a little bit. It doesn't look pretty, but it's not going to really hurt it. Okay, so now we have to put two more traces here. At least two. Because we did that one over there. And looks like we might have a bit of a problem here. And there's all sorts of little spots here that are concerning, but some of that old gunk off of there. All right, so found a little piece of solder or something just hanging around here. Let's get that off the board. We don't need any extra bits here, thank you. Yes, the iMac G5s do have capacitor issues. At least some of them do. So you do have to be mindful when you're picking one up. I mean, it could be a way for you to get one real cheap and fix it yourself, but the amount of capacitors involved, you're probably not going to be saving much money, if anything. If anything. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky. Okay, so the positive is supposed to be on the right at least. Okay, so we got that. Now, yes, we're going to have to do 2 tracer pairs here. We need one coming up from here and one coming up from there. And so let's see if the thicker wire would be too much for this. Actually, no, that should be okay because it's gonna connect to there. So let's do a quick measure here. Come on, stay down. Thank you. And do up to like right there. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to get a little bit of fresh solder in that area. Sorry we keep moving around here, but that's what we's doing. And if I cover this, that should be okay. I shouldn't have to. Here we go. Okay. I think Mike's kitty cat walked on the keyboard. That's going to be my educated guess of what just happened. Hello, Prada, or Simon, or whichever kitty said hello. Hello. Mike's cat is probably going to say, "Feed me! Feed me!" So we're just trying to clean this up a little bit before we put a new capacitor here. Now we will have to put some UV solder mask right down the stripe in the middle. Because that is, a capacitor is going right over that. It shouldn't touch, but you can never be too careful with these things. Sometimes it's going to make a connection, you don't want it there, etc. So, alright, so just make sure that this wire is all clean. Still see some stuff on it, so I'm just trying to minimize the stuff that I have to take off once it's already on the board. Okay, great. Alright, so we'll just put a little bit more flux on there. Again, flux is your friend. It's really hard to see this without the microscope. So I should look through it. Alright, so get my good tweezers here. Okay. That was a bit problematic because my tweezers did not want to let go. Ah, damn. You know, exactly. That's exactly what I feared was going to happen, and it took some of the darn trace with it too. Oh boy. At least we have something to anchor to. Be okay. This is not my day, huh? I'm going to stay there for a bit until we can get the tweezers in there to clean you up. My goodness. Not my day. Not my day. Oh yeah, speed doubler, RAM doubler, they were installed on my family's Macs when I was a kid. Because who could afford more memory? Okay, so now let's try this again. Holding it very steady with the tweezers now. Okay, that's better. Not perfect, but that's better. I think Mike fell asleep and the cat's on the keyboard. It's so hard to control a wiggly wire. We're gonna just cut that because that is too wiggly. I need something that is still fairly straight. Sorry, we're a bit all over the place. I'm very zoomed in. It is very hard to keep things still, because we are working on very, very tiny things right now, and there are ports in the way, so I can't just bring the wire straight in. I have to do it from an angle. Let me try it like that. Let's see. Let's see if that'll help. Yeah, let's do something like that. I promise you, once this is over with, I will read the chat. Just let me focus on this. Oh boy, this has been exciting. Exciting is hardly the word I would choose. Now let me get the tweezers. The thing is, as soon as I let go with the soldering iron, it will, adjust itself. And I obviously don't want that. Okay, I think that is fairly a good join there. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. $8,000 worth of my Quadra 700. Is that today's prices or is that your retirement plan?
I'm gonna retire my Quadra.
Alright, so we're gonna do what we did before. We're just gonna take this little piece of metal and we're gonna bend it around. Like that. So we have sort of a makeshift pad here for that solder to connect to. And the same for this. Yep, we see it did not connect there. I mean, it's solid enough over here. We should be okay, but again, there are chips and things that are on top of that are right below my tool there, which is making this very difficult to move around. Not just caps, but chips and such. So. Okay, so we got sort of a pad here. There we go. Pretty happy with that. And we got a makeshift pad over here. Alright, so. Oh boy, let's zoom out a little bit to give you an idea of what the heck this is all about. So, and the camera is tilted. Oh, the whole microscope is tilted, that's why. So, we had two missing traces there. The idea was to put two there. So, my goodness, that was fun, wasn't it? So yeah, let's try and put a capacitor on there. This is gonna be nerve-wracking, I know, because those aren't really going to stay on there too well. I'm going to have to be careful here. Those are 50 microfarad, I'm sorry, 1 microfarad 50 volt capacitors. So I have one that we're going to be putting on. Hopefully it's going to cooperate and stay in its place. Yeah, the last time I was going to buy a video card... Ooh, that's a little too wide. Last time I was going to buy a video card is when all that Bitcoin mining was going on, or whatever was going on, and all the prices were just stupid expensive. And I said, ha! I'm not doing that. I'm just going to buy a used card. That's exactly what I did. I bought a used video card, and it was fine for my needs. Here's a smaller capacitor. We're going to use that. Because I don't want to worry about the width there. And I'm not putting the cap on just yet because I realize we do have that little thread down the middle. So I want to make sure we put some solder mask over that to protect the line in the middle. Gotta hold that line there so we don't accidentally touch the positive and the negative, because that would be bad. Crossing the streams would be extraordinarily bad. Oh, I thought you said crossing the streams is bad. Yes, Nubus video card prices are insane. I got a monochrome one pretty recently, and the guy on Facebook was like asking a silly amount for it, and of course nobody wanted it. It's a monochrome card. I mean, come on. So I ended up getting it as a bundle pretty cheap, but it was very silly because people were just like laughing at him, and honestly, rightfully so. I mean, come on, it's a mono Nubus card. It wasn't anything fancy. It was just like a standard, third-party one. Yeah, this was when like the NVIDIA 1050i or something like that came out or whatever. I mean, I don't really have a preference to any graphics card manufacturer, but I had an NVIDIA one. I was happy with it, so I was going to get another one. But I think I went from a 670 to a 980 or something like that. Whatever's in my gaming PC, I don't pay too much attention. It plays games fine for me. I don't have to have the maximum setting, but I'm pretty much near there and it works fine, so. The cat typed a little bit on the keyboard, Mike. But I didn't blow up anything yet. We are putting the capacitor that was missing back on here. We did some creative trace repair here. We're going to see if that sticks. Hopefully it does. And I'm just covering this trace with some mask here, just to prevent anything from touching it. Going for almost 2 hours now. And let's hope that this capacitor is going to play nice with us, huh? That would be nice, if it played nice. Oh, you went out to get food. Smart. It feels like a Friday. I know it's a Thursday. It feels like a Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. In less than 30 minutes it'll be Friday. Alright, so here comes the moment of truth here. If everything is going to stick together or it's all going to fall apart on me. So. Alright. It's on there. So, Sean, welcome. Yes, this is yours. We were very creative with how we put some traces on here. Let me reassure you, this is not the final product. I am simply testing to see what is actually broken and what is not. My microscope is a little bit tilted today. So what we have done here is we've built two new traces here to actually go to the capacitor. So went from those, put some wire here, cleaned up this, put some solder mask rather under this, so this can't touch that and make a connection it's not supposed to make. We fixed up a trace that was, where is it? This here, we fixed up this trace here because that was broken. And so we went ahead, did this. Over here we did some more. We did these two traces here, and this is very tilty, but this is just temporary here because we had to put that there and this there. So, yeah. Yeah, okay, Jay. If these boards only took me 2 hours, I would charge far less. Oh, boy. So I do see some green on this chip here, so we are going to scrape away some of that, because that's probably some yucky stuff. Don't worry, Sean. All in a day's work. So let's zoom in here. Yeah, see, we have some junk on here, but that's okay. Just want to make sure nothing that None of those pins are touching where they shouldn't be. See, there's some solder here. A little solder ball here. And that could have been bridging something it wasn't supposed to. Get that away. Of course, once this goes through the ultrasonic cleaner, that should clean up a lot of these small things. But while we're testing around here, it's good just to clean up these areas too. This happens especially with the chips that are very close to capacitors. Well, there's some green stuff in there. Yummy. Yeah, the video game consoles, don't get me wrong, I like playing the video games. I'm not paying for a new console. I am not done with the current console I have. So, there you go. That's my opinion. That nobody asked for. Heck, I still got my Sega Saturn. When did they release new games for that? Okay, so let's zoom out here. Yeah, there is some interesting business going along over here. Obviously some flux and some residue left over from the previous cleaning or attempts on this board here. That's just some old flux and junk there. Nothing that looks like it may be causing a problem, but just want to make sure there's no solder balls hanging out between those pins or anything like that. So that is corrosion. Usually that's just like moisture and junk that has found its way onto the board from leaking capacitors or another source, and it likes to grab onto things like little chips and pads and things like that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these solder joints look like they can be redone. I'm gonna just take this step by step. Some glue still on there. Yeah, Mike, that is exactly what happened. I bought the Zelda game for the Wii U because I'm like, well, it's going to come out for this console. I'm not going to buy the new one. And then they came out with the game for the Switch as well. And I'm like, darn it. I probably started the game on the Wii U, but I have a problem with being cheap and not wanting to rebuy the same game I just bought. But that's just me. I think we're ready to test, folks. I think we are ready to do a quick test here. Now, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. The board seemed to have worked, but the sound was very low or non-existent. Is that correct? Is that correct, Sean? My assumption of there? So the sound from the internal speaker was pretty much non-existent, or was it just the external port that didn't give you any sound? Sorry for the squeak. Oh boy. Give Sean a moment to respond there. Correct. Okay, great. Alright, so I'm just checking with my eyes here, seeing if alright, that's positive, and that is positive. Okay, so everything should be connected. I'm gonna borrow my buddy's computer here. Just do a quick test. Now, did you hear the startup chime? Speaker's very quiet, so was the jack. Okay, so even with the startup chime, it was very quiet. So we should be able to hear something, hear a difference if this has been fixed, or at least on its road to being fixed, on the way to being fixed. We should hear a healthy startup chime then. Well, we don't know yet. Place your bets, folks. Do you think this is going to work? Or do you think we'll need some additional repairs on this one, huh? Alright, so. Okay, so let's see if we get anything here. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so I get an image on the screen. No sound. But it looks like it wants to boot. So I get the cursor and everything. Let me connect a mouse here. Let's see if we could do some things here. Back you guys up for a moment. Let me get my... Yeah, we're going to need some memory. And... it's the memory that yours came with, I believe. So let's put that in there. Okay. Alright, so, yeah, I mean, the machine was working before. I was tidying things up. I don't even know if that area was even related to sound, but it is close enough to there. So, where is that adapter I just had? Here it is, my little floppy MU here. This is a great little device. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a floppy disk emulator. Plug that in. I'm going to plug in my SCSI to SD also, just in case we have trouble booting from a suitable floppy disk image. And let's turn that on. Yeah, so no audio. We should be getting an audio from it, but let's see if anything else works here. Yeah, the extension harness is really just an ATX cable, and I just connect the half that wants to connect. So, alright, so the cursor does not seem to be functioning. Let's see, we are getting... did the cursor function for you? Because we are booting, but obviously there's still some more work to be done here. And an ultrasonic clean is in this computer's future, so... Did I actually, Oh, I might have deselected the floppy disk that I was supposed to be booting from. Everything with the board worked when it had... Okay. Alright. Not the end of the world. Still more work to be done here. I'm going to try and start up... let's go from this... And let's reboot this thing. Interesting, the reset and interrupt switches are not working. All you need is one bad trace to screw things up. Alright, it's booting from the SCSI to SD adapter. At least it's trying to. So, here we go. Welcome to Macintosh. Oh, now the cursor's moving. Very erratically, I will say. But, I did hear some static from the speaker just there. Okay. So we do get the cursor moving around now. Let's see how much memory the computer thinks it has. 10 megabytes. Okay. Yeah, no sound from that. Let's try a pair of speakers I have here. Oh, Neil. Alright, so that's sound in, so we want sound out. All the way over here. I can't plug it in. It almost feels like there's something jammed in the socket there. Let me try again. There it goes. All right. Yeah, nothing from the sound out. All right, so we're going to shut you down. No, it's not fixed quite yet, Michael. Let's take another look at this. Well, I mean, technically speaking, it's not doing anything different than what it did before it was sent to me. So, I am not saying that we've made too much progress yet. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Let's get back to the microscope view here. So, let's follow some traces here. First off, let's look at the back of this. Okay, so those are the 6. So we could see this is the back of the sound out port. Sorry, too zoomed in for you guys. You can't see. Everything looks like it's connected okay, so that's a good sign. What I will also check is the bottom, just with my eyes here. I don't see anything damaged at first glance at the bottom, so that's good. I'm going to do a bit of a test here. Alright, all the ground seems to be checking okay. Okay, I believe, let's see, so this goes here. Let's pull up, I think I have the schematic for this. Not that it's going to help me too much, but I simply repaired the traces. Machine boots up fine, but we are still now we get no sound, and before Sean was saying that he at least got some sound. I'm just opening up the Classic II schematic here. I'm just curious exactly what chip the sound port goes to, so I could just do a quick and dirty test to see if any traces are, which look okay, maybe having a bit of an issue there. So I'm just scrolling through here. Of course, everything needs to be rotated. Okay. My Apple desktop bus, RAM address. printer, modem, floppy disk ports. Signal process. Oh, sure, Bruce. Well, this is probably easier. I'm assuming it's this chip right here. Oops. Of course, I'm like floating around here. I'm assuming it's this big chip right here next to the sound port. That's just an assumption. So. I assumed correctly. Excellent. Okay. So just want to make sure also that the traces around here are going to where they're supposed to go. You could ignore that mess for now. Bruce had to look at that mess. He's like, what? Ignore it. I can't ignore that. Okay. And then this line, I'm very curious where that line goes. Let's just go around the chip to see if anything connects. No, so that's the positive there. When I had it, you would have to hold your ear up to the bare speaker to hear something come from it. As for audio output, I would have to hook up to an iPod Hi-Fi and turn it all the way up to barely hear something. Oh boy. Well, the damage that was directly around these capacitors, especially these two here, which are right next to that sound chip, are of course concerning. Now, it could also be that that chip is just fried or just gone bad in some way. But I see... Oh, hold on. Could also just be a bad trace. Nope, that's just a little dot. Yes, the Color Classic is completely different. I did see that video, and I was impressed by that, but the Color Classic is a completely different machine. The ground seems to check out on this, at least so far. So that is probably not something to worry about with this particular chip, with this particular model, rather. Just making sure that these chip and its little feetsies are all connected correctly. Now, this could be a problem here. See how this leg goes right around here? Now, something could be corroded in between the layers, like right from here to there. So we will check continuity there. And the legs of the chips appear to be okay. We will be following some of those, making sure that they connect. So let me zoom out. Put this in a position where get a better look at it. I don't know. Okay. Now I do have a little piece of, of something here. Maybe I could use this just to... would that fit in here? No, it's way too big. I was going to say to try that. Yeah, I could definitely take the chip off and put it back on, but I'm trying to determine if there's a reason for me to do that. See, if I were to see corrosion and signs of wear right around the chip, that would give me cause to do that. I don't want to necessarily take it off just for the sake of taking it off. Also, these reset and interrupt buttons did not seem to do anything. But that could be a different issue, or maybe it was just being cranky. Doesn't really make sense, but it could also be that maybe under one of these capacitors, which I cannot see, there could be something touching or something that shouldn't be there. I've removed those two. I could go ahead and remove these if I wanted to. Same goes for this one here. These two over here. These chips over here look fairly okay. I mean, there's some flux and junk over there. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, it's thankfully the chip isn't that large. I've done it before, but like I said, I want to have a reason for doing so before I just go poking it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the board on its side here and just take a look to see if I see anything that's wrong with the bottom of this here. It's got a lot of little capacitors and resistors here. Making sure we don't see that one that is like half on or has ripped off or anything like that. Yes, Bruce, exactly. So I'm about to remove some capacitors because I do not see anything clearly that is over here. So alright, so these two, I saw what was under them. I put some solder mask on them, so we shouldn't have a direct problem with that. But these two we're going to remove. And look at that, I turned my soldering iron off. So let's wait for that to heat back up. Silk screen by R31 looked a little corroded. Well, let's take a look. So I see R14, R31, R31. I see a bit of green from the solder mask, but I don't necessarily see anything too bad. It could very well be that that point going from there to the other side, because you can almost see a hint of black there. So you can almost see like hey, great job, Adam. Now you go to bed. Yeah, what did you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? So let's see. Yeah, but I'm looking through that hole though. It's black, but that doesn't really tell us anything. Yeah, a lot of them look the same. So. Ah, 2C external floppy drive. Very, very nice. Okay, so we're going to remove the capacitors that we have not touched and see what horrors lie underneath. Especially concerned about this one right here, but who knows? We will see. Again, this is so close to something I'm hesitant to use the hot air, so I will just be using my soldering iron and some wick, and if that gives me trouble, we'll see. Many horrors, Ice. I must say it is a pleasure to have you on the chat right now, especially because, there were some unknowns about this board, so anything that you could help me out with verbally while we're chatting around here is very much appreciative, so thank you for sticking around. You obviously don't have to stay around the whole stream. I'm not going to be going for forever tonight. I have to get to bed eventually. Okay, so you have some fun stuff to look at under that one. Let's remove this one here. Okay, nothing too horrible comes to mind at first glance, but we'll take a closer look. Let's remove these ones as well, especially this big guy, which may be hiding something underneath. Floppy MUs are very, very cool, and they just lowered the price a little bit from what I understand, so perfect time to grab one. Would they use solder paste on this? Something's weird. That's all I could say. Alright, let's do this one here. Okay. So we have those capacitors removed here. Let's take a closer look at what was beneath them. Don't see any shocking evidence right now, but we can at least do some looking. I mean, that looks okay. This seems to actually have a connection there. We'll be doing a test with our multimeter, but at first glance, these do look okay. Bruce is like, I can't stand it. I'm going to play along with the home version. So, I mean, this pad's a bit wobbly. And we have... Well, let's test some continuity here. No, the burned capacitors is a sign of somebody either not knowing what they're doing or reusing the capacitors again or fudging up and trying to fix it again. If I burn a capacitor and it looks that bad, I take it off and I put a new one on. If it's my personal machine, I don't really care. But yeah, the burned ones are a clear sign that either they were running their soldering iron too hot or something happened, you know. I'm not trying to put any blame of the person that was doing this board, you know, or anything like that. But generally, that's not a good sign. Now, don't get me wrong. These capacitors can take quite a bit of abuse. It's just a cosmetic thing, really. But it makes you wonder. It does. So... Okay, so let's take a look at the ones over here as well. Now, right here, that's actually connected. It's a bit loose, but it is connected. Alright, that is making a connection as well. That is going through there. What about you? Alright, that is making a connection there. As is that. So these, at first glance, appear to be okay, unless I'm missing something. Oh, Neil. Oof. Well, good luck with that. Hopefully you can get that board back before it's too late and get some life out of that thing. I'm just testing the connections on the sound chip here. Okay. Save our classic. Never hurts to check simple things like that. Yes, you can, Bruce. Yes, you can. Let me just finish up doing this, and I'd be happy to show you. It could be anything. It could be tons of stuff going on here. Alright, so let's try and follow some of these traces here. Let me zoom out a little bit to help me with this. My goodness, that one just keeps going. So we have two of these. Oh, duh. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So easy to lose track of which one's actually going where. I'm not exactly sure where the heck this pin goes. I'd be very curious to know. Alright, Bruce, let me give you a tour of the fun that is this Classic II board. So here is where we had to do a repair. It's a bit messy here, but let me try and explain. So these pads were totally gone. Thankfully, these anchors here and here were where those pads went. So what I did was I just put some wire there, bent it. I put some solder mask on this middle one, and I checked the continuity, so that is not touching what's under that capacitor here. This is the new cap that I put on there. So it's a little rough, but that does sit. I did not take this one off though, so we can take a look at that because that might be something to look at. We fixed this little trace here from here to here because that was missing, and I don't believe that's touching that. No, it is not, but we will take this cap off here in a moment. These two caps are removed as well. Yes, yeah, definitely, especially because there was trace damage here. That is something I want to take a look at there. And over here, what had happened was the two traces that stem from here and here were for this capacitor, and these pads had fallen off. So first what I did was I ran a wire from here to here just to strengthen that, because there wasn't anything to hold on to, and every time I tried to put a trace on there, it would burn off. So I ran a trace from here to here, and then from this pad to here, just for this capacitor here. And I did put solder mask under this capacitor just so it wouldn't touch anything. That's why it looks a bit ugly here, but just to make sure that there was no connection of anything. And I did test with the multimeter, so there shouldn't be any erroneous connections there. But yeah, and then we just removed these over here. So yeah, but definitely going to remove capacitor 8 now. Oh, thank you very much. Greetings from New Jersey. um, yeah, so let's remove capacitor 8 here. And see if we find anything underneath that concerns us. I cannot stay for too much longer because we've going for almost 3 hours here, and I have work tomorrow. So sorry to be a party pooper there, but just setting your expectations. Okay, so looks mostly like dust and dirt, but yes, we will be looking at that. I didn't even start looking over there, but it could be a problem anywhere, I guess. I mean, to my eye, this all looks like it is making a connection. Okay, let me zoom in here and focus so everyone else could see almost as good as what I'm seeing here. So that pad, let's get out the multimeter here. And there's something, my microscope I think is just tilted a few degrees to the left or the right, so things are a bit out of focus. But let's have the wonderful multimeter help us here. Okay. That's a little wobbly now, isn't it? But it is making the bridge. This was just a little extra there. But let's follow that. Was it up here? I think. Yeah. All right, and that is separate, so that's okay. Okay, so that all checks out. So let's take a little trip over here. So yeah, there's definitely a trace running under there. Oh boy, yeah, there's well, yeah, over here. Well, let's get to it, shall we? These caps aren't going to remove themselves. Oh, Bruce. So actually, that's a good question. So, Sean, I assume, if you're still around, Sean, I assume you sent it in just to get recapped, or was there the sound problem before you sent it in? I'm just curious. Because that would have been if there was no sound problem to begin with. Well. Of course you can, Bruce. You ask so nicely. Ah, okay. So the sound issue was always okay. Yeah, and I can see, I mean, it's right next to the plastic here, so... Bruce is like, you have permission to continue. And I am not a huge fan of this solder wick. It is certainly not the best one I've used, but it's what I have right now, so. Oh boy. Yep, that's what I was concerned about. Look at that trace right under there, dangling by a thread. Look at that, both of those. Really. Oh, all right. We do have some continuity there, at least. And same with this one. But those both can use some strengthening there, because they are very, very fluid. So let's move on to the bigger one over here. It really does not look like the original person took any of the old solder off some of these pads, because some of them are quite nasty underneath, but that's just a guess based on some of their previous work. It's going to be a pain because it's right next to the battery holder. Forgive me if I singe this, I could always put a new one on. Yeah, this looks like solder paste, or I don't know, some weird solder. The texture is very strange to me. Yes, you could use plenty of different batteries, as long as it, I mean, it doesn't even have to be 3.6 volts. It could be 3 volts. I've used 2 AA batteries before. As long as it gives you the voltage. I'm curious if this is being held on from the middle. I mean, that doesn't look pretty, but I'm not sure if it's a break yet. Let's see. Nope, that's making a connection there. Yeah, we have tons of gunk around here. Oh, just look at this. Is this going to there too? Is that actually making a connection? Alright, that was actually making a connection. And so was that. Ooh, we got some corrosion here though. Hello. Got some corrosion. We found some corrosion. Looky what we found. Nasty corrosion. I'm not pushing down hard, so that is a break, it looks like, but we will see in a moment. Yeah, this has definitely seen better days. Look at that. Yeah, see how much of that has been eaten away there? That should be a complete circle. And the one next to it doesn't look too hot either, but yeah, I mean this is yeah, that is not making a connection to the via there. Yeah, only to the trace, not to this. So there's a break there. I don't know if that's necessarily causing the problem, but there's certainly a break there. It just goes to show you never know where there's going to be a problem. It could be where it's very obvious. Or it could be where it's less obvious. See, it almost looks like it could connect there, but it is indeed gone. So let's zoom in here as much as we can. So you could see we have the copper coming in, then there's a break, and then this is where the copper should have continued. So that is certainly something we have to fix. I don't think I'm going to continue fixing things right now. I'm going to take the rest of the caps off, and then we'll probably call it a night, because it is creeping closer to 1 a.m., and I do have to get up early tomorrow, so I cannot stay on forever, unfortunately. I'd love to, but until this is my day job, I am limited of what I can do. Boy, what a weird hours that job would have, huh? It does. It looks like a crater. And who knows? That could be directly related to the sound issue. I'd have to look at a schematic and see exactly where that goes, etc. But at least that we have something to go on, because everything else sort of, it looked bad, but it was connecting, so there was no smoking gun yet, so. No worries, William. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care. See you again sometime soon. Part of a 7100 What part are you looking for? Maybe somebody here could help you out. Okay, that actually didn't look bad, so that we'll do some tests there, but first glance that looks okay. In front of the CD drive. Okay, so I would suggest you look, you still see them on eBay once in a while. I would look for a bezel for a 7100. That's what they call it, a bezel, B-E-Z-E-L. So CD-ROM bezel 7100. Now, there were a few different machines that shared that same case. I don't 100% know off the top of my head if all of them would be compatible, and some of them had caddy drives, not CD drives. I believe the Centris 650 had the very similar case to that. So I think the chances of you finding that are quite high. I don't have any spares, otherwise I would let you know. But I'm sure I've seen some of them out there before, so I'm sure you'll be able to find one. But if you don't know what a caddy drive is, look that up. There were some caddy drives for the Centris 650, which I believe uses the same or similar case of the 7100. So just be sure you don't get one of those, because that will not fit a standard CD-ROM. It will fit a caddy drive, but not a standard CD-ROM. Well, you did get lucky because the damage could be much worse. I mean, you could have had a machine that didn't work at all. I mean, yeah, having no sound stinks, but having a computer that doesn't work at all would be worse. Alright, so one more cap to remove here. Well, at least those cases are made a bit better because there's some metal to them than some of the other cases out there. Okay, all right. So all of the capacitors that we did not put on have been removed from the logic board, and I'm not really seeing anything other than the area that we were looking at before. That jumps to mind as being a problem right off the bat, but these pads are certainly not in the best shape, and I'm very surprised that's making a connection. Oh, that's a cool idea, though. That's an awesome idea as a gift. That is fantastic. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, I've removed all the caps here. I'm not seeing any, besides some pads here that are concerning. I'm not seeing anything that's leading me to believe there's a problem besides this over here, that crater. Now, that looks like it's actually going to the floppy port. So how that would relate to the sound, I have absolutely no idea if that would. But just goes to show that there are some problems that are still hidden with this board. Oh yeah, those are fun machines. And you could put a Sonnet G3 upgrade in them. I mean, they're pretty cool. I'm assuming, let's see, let me just double check over here. That we didn't miss anything. I mean, there's some green. This is going to have an ultrasonic clean, so we're going to have to do that, obviously. Looking at things here, I'm not seeing too much else to go by because everything seems to be making a connection. It very well could be that this sound chip is just dead. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a replacement right now for this sound chip. I have some other sound chips, but not for this one. Not for this system. But I'm going to continue at it. We're going to take a pause for tonight, though, because it is getting pretty late. Place that sells cases in bulk? That's pretty cool. Or parts. I'm sorry, I'm half paying attention. But yes, I think we're gonna retire this board for tonight. Good night, Jay. But this has been an interesting one. So Sean, we will continue with your board. It is yeah, Bruce. That's especially if it's making sound. I don't know. Yeah, I mean I do have a working Classic II board that I can put right next to this. Side by side, so I could test some traces and stuff like that. But it is good that we got the majority of the capacitors off of there. Now I did put those 3 on myself. I'm fairly certain they are making the correct connections. So yeah, but this could use a good cleaning. So we're gonna probably clean that before we look at this board next. But yes, some well-earned rest, says Bruce. But I'd like to thank everybody for bumping me to 5,000 subscribers. That is fantastic. That's very exciting. I'll sleep happy thinking about that tonight. This is not the last you've seen of this board, I'm sure. So be sure to tune in. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to give me a subscription there so you will be notified when I go live and I do another stream like that. But that's it for now. Thank you very much. Yes, time zones are weird. I have to go to bed, but doesn't mean you have to. You could check out some of my previous videos if you want. So there are some cool playlists there on the YouTube channel. But that's about it for now. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for staying up with me and keeping me company. And I'll see you sometime soon. So let me fumble around and click on the end stream button here. And everyone stay safe, stay warm, stay happy, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.